I caught the second game after it started up a couple turns, so we missed the start of it, but no agendas have been scored yet. So we have Martin here as the runner, which I caught it from this point of view. So I'm only commentating, or I'm commentating with extra information here, which is sort of interesting. I have the perspective of the runner. Martin won the tournament. He's an extremely good player. He plays Gabe and Waylon all the time and is very successful. And I think in this game, we just want to focus on the decisions being made by these players. And then we have Bateman on the other side playing Corp, playing NBN, and he came in sixth, so he placed very well as well out of 25 players. So this was an important match. I think this was a final round match, the first game, I believe. So yeah, the Corp was checking the runner's heap to see what kind of see if any programs were trashed, I guess, see how likely is he to get in that server, or I guess just to see that the inside job was there. Of course, we see that he has another inside job in hand. So first click is a draw, and Martin's got to be wanting to get into that server. Don't want an early agenda to be scored with NBN. Just set them ahead for the whole game. So plays his sure gamble here, get up to 9 money, and plays out the inside job. Jumps over the ice and, yep, steals the Astro script. So that was a pivotal play right there. Just NBN having an Astro script in play that changes the dynamic of the game in a big way. So Corp has drawn some cards, got an install, and using Jackson Howard. That right there doesn't actually net you any cards because you have the install, and then you have to click on Jackson to draw 2 cards. You could have drawn two cards with those clicks, but of course Jackson has many other uses. So I know in Martin's Wayland deck, his Corp deck, he uses anonymous tip instead of Jackson Howard, just for the draw power. You get 3 cards with anonymous tip, where Jackson Howard, you actually don't get any for the clicks. You get yeah, the math on it. In the short term, if you want cards, anonymous tip's the way to go. If you want to just continuously draw cards, and Jackson Howard's a decent way to go. So it looks like we've got a run on that server. Does not want. This is, I think a smart play to pressure the Jackson Howard. It's a play that I need to do more. I fall into the habit of just seeing Jackson Howard as not a huge threat and letting him stick out there way longer than I should. So I think that was a smart play, especially when he has the money to trash him. He draws into a Desperado. I'm sure he's very happy to see that. Still in the earlier part of the game, so that can give him a lot of credits. Got some Data Sucker, Parasite. So yeah, you'll see a lot of Anarch cards now in Criminal. And I think that's just because Anarch cards are really efficient. They're really good at what they do. And then things like a Data Sucker is really good with Criminal because Criminal has a lot of good ways to get into servers to fill up those tokens. Whereas Anarch, once you kind of get locked out of servers and they clear your Data Suckers, you have your fixed breakers and you can't get in servers and you're stuck in a bad spot. So Criminal helps circumvent that problem. Got a Parasite on the Katana, which would worry me if I was Corp. I'd be worried about the Count Siphon coming in a couple turns. Also just forcing the Corp to install more ice over those centrals will relieve some pressure on the remotes that you'll get otherwise. So looks like he just trashed the Jackson Howard, which makes sense. Looks like he only had a sweeps week in archive, so he could get that Jackson Howard back with another Jackson Howard later. It's not always worth it to use Jackson Howard's power, especially when the runner runs on him. A lot of times I will gladly let the runner trash Jackson Howard because it's 3 credits is a lot of money, and sometimes they're calling your bluff. They don't think that they think that you're gonna use his power to get rid of him, but you're not. Okay, so we got that Parasite has a token now. He's getting Desperado out, making an investment here. He has 1 Data Sucker token, so he's 1 off from getting inside HQ. This turn, at least. Yeah, he's using the Fairy. Okay, so he's pulling a card, and let's hopefully wow, yeah, scored a breaking news, that's good. And let's hopefully he remembers the token on the Data Sucker, getting Desperado money. Yeah, that was very profitable. It cost him his Fairy, which, he could have saved for. Now he's getting past the Neural Katana. So these are the types of decisions. Just this flow here was really smart. Just it didn't cost him. He actually might have profited from that overall. It just cost him his ferry, which he already had installed. But now he has a couple data sector tokens, and he got a couple of money out of it. It's all, and look at that. HQ is just wide open. That puts a lot of pressure on the corp. Very disruptive to their plans. So he's gonna score out. Too good to be true. I love that card. I love the theming, the bitcoins. Um, so he's just going right into HQ, and that. Oh my God, I forgot about the Gabe money too. So he gets 3 credits for going in there and a data sucker. Let's see if he pulls anything. Is that Archer again? The Archer is online with the too good to be true. He's gonna have to be aware of that on any runs against ice if he wants to save his rig. So he just keeps going in. He's just getting the data suckers. He doesn't need to do anything else. This is how you win as a runner. You run. He doesn't need to rig build. He doesn't need to set up. Just the Corp gave him a window here when he scored out that too good to be true. The Corp got a point and got a res on Archer if he wants to. But yeah, he just is able to just go in there and look at his money pile grow and all the data suckers he needs now. So as a Corp, I may have delayed scoring out that too good to be true. But I don't have the Corp's perspective here. He might not have had any ice in hand. So there, now we're icing up. That could be an Archer, but I see that the runner has another ferry in hand. Okay, getting some more money. Getting this, I always worry a little bit of getting this much money as I get the ferry out as runner against NBN because breaking news in closed account. That's happened to me too many times, and yeah. Not to say you shouldn't get this much money, but oh, he just drew an emergency shutdown. So the combo of the ferry and emergency shutdown means he is not worried about Archer at all. It's a non-issue. He still doesn't have the corroder to bust through that ice wall. Gets a Yogg out. So the Yogg is smart here. That's another smart decision because he saw the pop-up window before in HQ. So why you wouldn't just randomly, yeah, so there's the pop-up window. So he knows that's, he wants to get an HQ a lot. So he didn't res the other card there. He wants to get an HQ a lot. He knows that one of those cards is likely a pop-up window. So he front loads the investment in Yogg. He's assuming that it will pay off, and it did. That pop-up window is still good against Yogg. It still gives the corp money, and if they're going to be getting HQ a lot, you might as well be making money too. Although it's not really a winning strategy against Gabe. So he just paid to get Fem out, and yeah, he's femming up the ice wall. See, I love that play as well. It's so unintuitive. You wouldn't why spend all that money on Fem for an ice wall? It's so cheap to get through, but he wants to get through now, and he had the money, and yeah, he's just keeps pressuring the corp here. So I think Martin wins a lot of tournaments. He just yeah okay. And a too be true picks up a tag because of that. So that could really be. He has 3 cards in hand, so that could really backfire if the corp planned for that. Just one Scorched Earth would do it. He didn't get the carapace down yet. He closed account sim. Yeah. Oh, interesting. I guess the audio cut out in the game for some reason. Now it's back. So yeah, that too good to be true is actually really good for the corp. You gave up a point, which is too bad. Not you'd rather not do that. But yeah, he got it on click 4, so he wasn't able to clear that tag, and all his money went away. So he just let the runner right in. I think he forgot to take his pop-up money. I think he forgets to take his pop-up money a few times in this game, which it always makes me sad. I feel like I want to tell the players, when they make mistakes, but that's not really my position. I'm only there to resolve rule disputes and so on. So he's going into HQ again, and I don't think he forgot pop-up again, but yeah, when you're playing the game, always do everything in the right order. So Martin there got the data sucker tokens and got his money before accessing. It's good to get in those habits so you don't skip steps. I don't know how many times I've seen people forget compromised employee money, or data sucker tokens I see all the time. Even a medium the other night, I saw someone forgetting tokens on that. We got a lot of good cards in the runner's grip here. Kind of the classic criminal cards you expect to see, and some econ. So he clears virus counters here. I'm not sure if that was the best time to do this. It depends what ice he has. He might have like a high strength code gate behind that pop-up, I guess, that he wants to hit. Otherwise, he's worried about parasites, I suppose, on some ice he's going to res, such as an archer. But yeah, it didn't seem like the best time to clear viruses. But we'll see how that develops. Making a run. Yep. Okay, there's the pop-up money. That's good. And here's the archer res. So he gets through for 4, I believe, with fairy. 4 to get the strength, and he gets 3 money back. And his data sucker, of course. Let's hope he doesn't forget that. He's getting a little bit ahead. There we go. Okay, don't forget that stuff. That really only cost him 1 money in the fairy, and he's shutting down that archer, which means he cannot res that archer again until he scores another agenda. Fairy's probably one of my favorite criminal cards. I used to import 2 or 3 of them in Shaper, just as an econ card. It's good for the surprise, and it's good for siphoning HQ and plays like that. But it's such a just good piece of ice, or a good icebreaker for economic reasons. Sentries are expensive to get through, so Fairy is a very cheap way to get through. I think a lot of newer players in Netrunner focus too much on sort of thinking on the long term, thinking about, Fairy's not good because I need to get through that ice multiple times. I need a lot of accesses, and so I think you eventually learn that you don't always play in the long term. You sometimes only need to get through that ice once or twice in a game. But I think this is his first time checking R&D, at least since we started recording this one. And Bastion will stop him. That's actually a pretty good exchange, though, because Bastion is really expensive to res. So now he drained. I suspect these initial runs were just to drain the money from the corp to hopefully prevent this score out of the remote. With the Resonant Bastion certainly helps, but the pop window did not. Scored out a Beal. Yeah, that shipment from Sansan, I'm really liking that card right now. And able to score right there where I don't think that score would have been possible otherwise.
I'll take a tag. That's been the 1 credit you can get it back.
So we're going all in the text,
huh? Yeah, so he's not even breaking the shadow back there. He's just planning to win before that happens.
Let's do that again.
Yeah, and I was just holding this camera in this game, which is why it's kind of moving around. I'm going to try and get a better camera setup for future games. If people like these videos, and we were talking about, we have a very vibrant Netrunner community here in the Bay Area, San Francisco Bay Area, but we don't really have a lot of exposure, so trying to rectify that. We have a lot of very good players here, and I want to get some exposure for them, I guess. I don't really know why. It just seems like the right thing to do. Corpse turn. And it looks like Martin has probably decided that Scorched Earth is not in this deck, because he had or he still has, now he had the Carapace, actually he still has it, and he's not installed it, even with all those tags. So he's likely just decided he's not worried about it. Which he's seen a lot of the cards in HQ, so yeah, he actually drew 3 cards with the Jackson Howard, so I was joking that I was going to disqualify him for that. Yeah, 2 to 6, I believe. Not looking great here for the Corp. The biggest advantage he has here is that the Corroder is still not on the table. So he plays really aggressive. He might be able to score out in that remote. But a lot of times as NBN, you're just not drawing the agendas when you want them. So he is accessing R&D, and I think the core pair is just deciding if he wants to use the Jackson Howard to increase his non-agenda density in that deck. I have definitely done this myself before. It's just another use of Jackson Howard. He is the gift that keeps on giving. Again, a Jackson Howard back in. Another Jackson Howard, why not? It's not an agenda. That's all you really care about right now. And it looks like a sweep sweep. So he's doing this before the access on R&D, which Jackson Howard allows you to do. The paid abilities in Netrunner are probably the most complicated part of the game, just how all those interact in the structure of the run. As a newer player, it took me a long time to understand the flow of that. But it offers a lot of nuance for the game, a lot of plays like this. So let's see what we got. Sanson City Grid. He can't afford to trash it. He forget. No, he didn't forget. He almost forgot his data sucker. And he's just piling on the tags. Ooh, there's the Siphon. And you got Sneak Door. Usually, I think Martin runs 3 Sneak Doors in this deck, and he will definitely use those real early. That's probably the biggest difference between Andromeda and Gabe, I'd say, is the Sneak Door beta. You're much more motivated to use it with Gabe than you are Andromeda. So if you pull it off, it really only costs you 2 credits and 1 if you have Desperado out. So it doesn't look like he can pull off the Siphon yet. That not having the barrier breaker is problematic, but R&D run here to get lucky. Exactly what he's doing. And we got a score. And that's the game. Thanks for watching.